Fungibility.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Fungibility. My name is Andy. I'm joined here with Graham, and we are back, and we're glad that you're here with us as well. How you doing, Graham?
Doing great. Excited for another night of NFT conversation.
Yeah, me too. This stuff is crazy and interesting. It is moving so fast. Things are just changing every day, every week. So it's hard for us to keep up with it. We can't obviously talk about everything, but maybe you're seeing some interesting things in the news these days, and maybe your Google feed or I don't know where you get your new Twitter blows. Apparently, a lot of this is on Twitter.
Oh yes, 90% of my Twitter feed.
That's right. Yeah, we talked about. Yep. I need to get on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter very much. I've got
probably for the best.
Yeah,
honestly,
that probably is. Yeah. Well, a few things have changed since our last episode recording. We are now officially launched on our website. You can check that out. It is fungibilitypodcast.com. We also are live on YouTube. If you're hearing this on a podcast, then we are also on YouTube. You just go to Fungibility Podcast there as well. Or if you are watching us on YouTube and you want to check out our podcast, we are live on most of the main podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're still waiting on Stitcher. We're on a few others, Acast and TuneIn and things like that. So if you listen to a podcast platform that does not have us, then let us know. And we will try to get over there. You can email us at non@fungibilitypodcast.com. The most brilliant email handle there ever was.
You're so hospitable, trying to accommodate all of the podcast listeners.
Trying. The hard part was trying to accommodate the links on the webpage. It keeps growing. I added Amazon yesterday. It's just getting too wide. So I don't know what. Maybe we'll simplify that eventually.
Well, just to give you a quick shout out. Just everyone should check out the website, check out the YouTube content if you haven't, because Andy's put in a ton of work. And
yeah, thanks.
Man, I'm just a little nervous the content's not going to live up to all the fancy stuff.
All right.
But I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, check it out. We are excited for you to join us, and we want you to come along for this crazy journey as we navigate the universe of NFTs. So today we actually have a little bit of a sports theme to today's episode that kind of happened organically. But before we get into those sorts of things, I want to talk about kind of a follow-up to last episode. We told you about the Beeple piece. He had an NFT that sold for a record-breaking $69.3 million. It's just crazy. The piece is really neat, but then obviously that drew attention to him. He had some interviews and he said some really cool things in this one interview that I was checking out that I just really like, because NFTs, just a really quick recap. If this is your first episode of hearing us, then NFTs are basically digital collectibles. They are on the blockchain, which just means they're secure. You can't steal them, you can't break them, you can't lose them. You can prove that they are yours. The ownership of those is proven because blockchain is this way of recording transactions that helps keep things just in order, and you can prove that it's yours. So because of that, you can sell all kinds of things and expensive things, and there's security there, or at least perceived security. It's really hard to falsify things there. So digital art, digital like trading cards, everything is going digital. And some people are like, what in the world? Like, but I can look that on YouTube. And we'll talk more about that when we get to Top Shot. But this digital stuff is crazy because people just want to own it. They want to be the one. So Beeple, he sold this piece of art that is digital, and there is a lot of hype. And he said this when asked about the hype and the future of the hype of NFTs. He said, well, think about it this way. In the beginning of the internet, there was a lot of hype around the internet back, the 90s. And there was a bubble, and the bubble burst. You've all maybe heard of the .com bubble, and it burst, but it didn't kill the internet. The internet stuck around, obviously, and kept being developed into what it is today, and people kept using it. So in a similar fashion, there might be a lot of hype right now around this NFT world, but it's going to stick around. Now, some of the less valuable, the less maybe functional, less practical pieces of that world may fade away over time, and the value of those sorts of things may plummet, but you're still going to have things that are on that blockchain and in the NFT world that do have value that will stick around for the long haul.
For sure. And I think, yeah, like it didn't kill the internet, even though there was a .com bubble, even though I'm sure there were people saying, see, I told you all this internet stuff is stupid. And you're going to have that with the NFT space too. And who knows, like, I think you and I are both believers in blockchain and the potential utility of NFTs in multiple spaces. But there's going to be people who, or, you know, we could be wrong is all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. I did foray into Twitter. Did I use the word right? A little bit.
I have no idea.
And I was reading the comment section, and it was like really tense because people are just like, this is crap. You know,
man,
you're wasting your money. It's going to zero. It's like,
yep.
Oh, wow. Some opinionated people. I guess he's not going to be buying any art anytime soon in the NFT
and
space.
If NFTs are the future, then those people are not going to profit at all from it.
Yeah. And
we'll probably be saying it. We'll continue to decry that they're terrible, even in their success.
And not everyone will join. I mean, hey, my dad still doesn't have a cell phone. So, I mean, he's like,
that's just impressive.
I know, right? Yeah. These cell phones, they'll never catch. I don't think they're going to be around for good. I'm not doing it.
I'm going to stick with my landline.
That's right. So the other Beeple quote just has to do with the practicality of NFTs and what he is kind of looking for them to be doing in the future. And he was saying that basically anytime you need to prove ownership, there is an opportunity for NFTs to step into that space. For example, your house, your car, maybe a diploma or something like that, because those are things you don't want to lose, and you want to be able to prove that you own that thing. And so can you imagine a day, Graham, when I go to buy a house and someone just transfers an NFT to me, and now that NFT says that I own this house at this address?
You got to think that's going to cut down on closing costs and
man,
all sorts of fees. I mean, and just like the security that, not only do you have the physical asset, but you have the digital representation of it that's verifiable, and you can ensure that it is the authentic, it is what it is, and the ownership history and everything.
Yeah.
It's really cool, like kind of hybrid utility.
Yeah, and definitely the succession thing is really interesting, especially I'm thinking about cars. Like you can take a look at that, and maybe if the right software gets involved or the right company gets involved, you can have like a list of owners and know exactly what was going on with your car at all times. And I mean, I don't know where this is all going, but the potential is certainly there. It's kind of interesting.
The people who come in and do it right are going to be very successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yep. So, now let's turn into some of these sports things. There's some really interesting stories that have been popping up lately. This first one I just think is funny, and so I'd like to start off with this. This is a guy named Nathan Apodaca, and I think he goes by what is it? Dog something. I forget what it is. That's okay. But he was on TikTok and he went viral because he's cruising down. If you're on YouTube, you can take a look at this. He's cruising down the street. He is listening to Fleetwood Mac, and he is drinking Ocean Spray, and he is just living his best life. And I can see why it went viral. It's hilarious. You look at it, you just kind of chuckle. But he's like, that's not good enough for me. Just going viral. So of course he rolled out his merch line, and he's selling skateboards and sweatshirts and I don't know whatever else. But he also minted that TikTok video into an NFT, and he's trying to sell that bad boy for $500,000.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir. No, I actually haven't taken a look in the last 2 days. As of 2 days ago, I don't think there were any bids. But here's the funny thing about this NFT is he couldn't get the rights to the things that made the video like beautiful.
The song.
Yeah, like the song. Yeah, so he couldn't use the song. He tried and failed, and he I guess he had to blur out the cranberry juice container because Ocean Spray didn't want to deal with that. But Ocean Spray seemed to be grateful they bought him a truck.
Wow.
Yeah, just like to maybe say thanks for the publicity.
Like originally or now with the NFT?
I think when he went viral
with the video. Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a blurred out, silent video.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
think,
like it's probably not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it seems like 500,000 is a little rich for most people's blood. Yeah,
I was just going to jump in real quick with something similar. I don't know if you know the meme "Bad Luck Brian." It's like a yearbook picture of this kid with braces. It's like a real bad picture, but he's been like a meme forever.
Yeah,
but he just sold that picture as an NFT and made $36,000 or something. And like that, I love because like his picture has been going around the internet. He's not been getting a dime of it.
Oh man, poor kid.
And like finally he can like profit from this bad yearbook picture.
I always think about that girl who's a meme and she's like side-eyeing.
Right.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, I wonder if, she's got to be doing this too. Anyone who's been a meme.
People. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's so funny. I own that meme.
I mean, like, it is cool. Like, that's pop culture. Like, that is. Yeah, that's our generation's, like, art in a way, memes.
Wow, that's deep. It's true.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like representative of our generation. I don't know. Yeah, that kind of stuff is cool. Love to see him profiting.
So on the skateboarding topic, we got Tony Hawk coming into the NFT space this week. Yeah, there was an Instagram post where basically he was taking this trick that he started doing in 1989 or something like that called the Ollie 540. Basically, he's on a half pipe. He goes up and he does 1.5 rotations in the air and he comes back down. And his Instagram post describes it if you want to check it out. But it basically says that he started doing it as a joke because it seemed impossible to keep your feet on the board for those rotations and to land it. But he started to do it and get good at it. And so the premise of his NFT is, I'm going to do it one more time and I'm never going to do it again. And you're going to own the video of the last time I ever do this in my life, which is funny in the first place because it's like, first of all, you can't know without a shadow that he's never going to do one ever again.
Right.
But secondly, it feels
I'm going to want that in writing, Tony.
Yeah, that's right. It feels to me like he's like, all right, guys, I need your help. I need to think of a trick that I'm getting too old to do.
Exactly.
Like, I want to do it one more time.
I can maybe do it one more time.
I got one more in me. Well, and that's what's funny because you look through his Instagram and it's like he fails like 20 times trying to do it. He can't do it.
I mean, it sounds really difficult.
Well, I'm not a skateboarder, but in my mind, I was like, well, he made the 1080 popular. Like,
but this is like just an ollie is just from the ground.
Yeah,
right?
You can't grab it, right? Is that the difference? You can't grab the board.
I don't know. You'll probably put a video in here.
Yeah, he's on a half pipe or something. So I don't.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That sounds unimpressive.
I mean, I played a lot of Tony Hawk for PlayStation back in the day. I was real good.
And I could do a 1080 like almost every time
if I put it in slow mo. Oh, that was the best. Anyhow, I thought this was really funny. So yeah, he's selling that. I think the auction's probably live now. I don't know, but go check it out. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So how about some other cash grabs? No, I don't know if Tony's is a cash grab. If so, at least he's giving a special moment to people. Some of these athletes right now are just like, I want the money. Here's my face. Pay me. Here I wanted them.
I mean, I hate to like disparage them or like try and assume their intentions, but some of it just seems like, hey, this is really lucrative right now. Let's capitalize on it. and not really think like long term about how this could be like valuable or have utility. Yeah. Like Bryson DeChambeau is one of the best golfers on the PGA Tour right now. He just released a series of like digital sports cards of just his likeness. And then there's a 1-of-1 that includes a meet and greet with him and some other things. But like all the other ones are just, they're just digital collectibles, kind of memorabilia.
Okay. If you're new to this space, when you hear something like 1-of-1, that means that's it. There's only one being sold. If it's a 1-of-100, then he minted 100 of the very same card and he sold them all. And maybe you have number 6 of 100 or 3 of 100 or 1. But a 1-of-1 just means you're the only one that has this. So it obviously will have more value.
It's all like artificial scarcity because this is all stuff that could hypothetically be infinite.
Absolutely.
But they only a set amount have been minted on blockchain. So even though I can download a JPEG of the Mahomes or whatever that DeChambeau 1-of-1 goes for, I could just download a picture of it and keep it on my screensaver, put it on my wall. But it still doesn't mean that I have ownership of it.
Yeah.
But and you can do that with any physical art, like we talked last time. You can take a picture or print a picture off the internet of any painting you like, but you can enjoy it. Doesn't mean you own it.
Yeah. What if Top Shot, and we'll get into Top Shot more later, maybe I should save this whole conversation, but what if Top Shot was able to say, here's a special moment that you can't even look at unless you own it? Would that give it more value or less because you don't know what you're getting?
I mean, it sounds like it would give it more value.
Yeah.
Just like because that's like an exclusive offering. Yeah. Or something.
Because if you're a basketball fan, you're probably surfing the Top Shot site and just like checking out the moments because you think they're cool and looking at highlights. Sure. But you don't have to own them to do that. And so I thought that was an interesting point, just something to think about.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into Top Shot, but like having ownership of moments does like mean something to me. Like when I sell a moment that I think is objectively cool, like part of me is disappointed, even though maybe I made a profit on it. Yeah. And that's what makes me believe in it. Yeah. That you can have that sense of like true ownership. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll come back to Top Shot. It's definitely an interesting idea.
Oh, actually, we are to that point in the show now where we're going to talk about Top Shot. Anyway, so
let's just do it, man.
So let's just back up a little bit and get some of the background. We've been throwing out this NBA Top Shot thing, but what is it?
So NBA Top Shot is a licensed NBA product that is built on Flow blockchain by a company called Dapper Labs. And I think DAP is a decentralized application, so Dapper Labs is a play on DApps. Because the blockchain is decentralized. But so rather than sports cards, these are digital moments or highlights of your favorite NBA players. And like doing, some are dunks, some are 3-pointers, assists, whatever. Started in 2020, summer 2020, in like closed beta. And they just had like a small group of people. It transitioned into an open beta in the fall, I believe. And then an article came out or a blog post from Jonathan Bales, who's like big in it's like daily fantasy and that kind of community. He has a lot of followers. But I got in at that point, which was like mid-January. He had a blog post that said, I just paid $35,000 for a video you can watch online for free. Here's why, something like that. And it was a Ja Morant rookie moment of just like, it's the coolest dunk. Like, it's awesome. But it was the number one serial number of the cosmic, which is like the rarest or most scarce of the moments. And he paid $35,000 for it. And he was convinced it was a huge discount. Now that moment is probably at least the market top that you can sell right now is 250,000, and he's not even listing it because he believes it's worth more than that. So, and that's true for a lot of these moments. But that was the inflection point for NBA Top Shot, was that article, because the usership just skyrocketed. And then the NBA, like, again, it's a licensed product, but NBA players started getting on board and tweeting about it and talking about how cool it was, doing like Twitch streams. Like the enthusiasm just like kept going until like late February, where we just there were so many people who wanted to get in, but there's only certain ways that you can get moments. So like the prices of moments were getting out of control. It was this crazy thing. Now we're in a part where moments are starting to get back to like a reasonable area. But on the platform, you can get moments through like packs, like you would any sports cards, or you can get them through the marketplace, which is, you can just scroll through, look for any player you want, and you can see all their moments. And so LeBron James probably has 15 or 20 moments on the platform. And some are the same moment, but they have, maybe it's like a special pack that they made. Just like sports cards, like you'll have the base card and then you'll have like different color prisms of that card, and the prisms are more valuable because they're scarcer. And it's a similar idea here. So like with each moment you have a highlight video, and I'm sure you'll add some so the folks can
flashy
see
graphics
with all your editing. So there's the highlight video, and it's kind of in this like cool cube, and the cube has the logo of the team, and then there's like stats about the game, stats about the player, and then it has like transactional history of that moment on blockchain. So there's all this cool stuff kind of built in to the moment, like way more than just what's on a sports card.
Yeah.
And then each moment has a serial number, and it tells you how many it's out of. So some of the most rare are like out of 49, I believe. And then some of the moments that are coming out now are out of 35,000. And so I think Dapper's doing a really good job of, I think, trying to make things accessible so that people can come in and get moments at a reasonable price. And then there's the hardcore collectors and people who are, investing more money, who can invest in like, I don't know, the more expensive, more exclusive kinds of moments. Yeah. But, I've been in since January. I got you in probably right around that peak. Was it close to the peak in like February?
Yeah, it was middle of February, and I was so bummed because you told me about it in the middle of January when you were first checking it out, and I, like an idiot, didn't even Google the thing, and I just was like, oh, cool, yeah, it's neat. And I went about my business, and I didn't get in the ground floor, but that's okay. I've had some fun too.
Yeah, what are your impressions?
Yeah, it's super fun, super well done. I grew up, as I mentioned in the last last episode, I grew up collecting baseball cards, and so this is like, it gives me that same feeling when you open a pack. But it comes to life because you actually get to experience some of the emotion of the play that he's involved in. Like, cool. Yeah, it is super cool, really well done. And go ahead.
If I can just jump on that, like just comparing it to card collecting, though, for people who actually like if you're getting into card collecting, yeah, there's websites now. Like one of the things that was so convicting, sorry, I'm tangents.
No, this is good.
So convicting in the article that Jonathan Bales wrote was that a lot of people who are like hardcore card collectors, they send their cards into like a vault or some sort of centralized place that will manage them. Like they never even see the card. So like they might buy a really expensive card, but they never actually have physical possession of it. It's sitting in their account in this vault that's, miles away.
Yeah.
But it still has value to them. It's still an asset. And that was like the thing for me that was like, yeah, why not? Why shouldn't it just be digital?
Yeah.
But, just talking about card collecting, though, if you're going to like try and get into it, you have to get cards rated. You have to take care of them. They can't If if they get corrupted in some way, or the corner gets
mangled, your dog gets a hold of it.
Exactly. These things become worthless, and then you have to find buyers on eBay, or you can send them to these companies. Like, the tradability of Top Shot is so cool. Like, you get a moment in a pack that you don't really like, you can sell that moment and use that money to buy something you do like
almost immediately.
And it's like the instantaneous nature of it's amazing.
It's really user friendly, but they're also brilliant marketing marketers, because they take 5% of every transaction that happens on the platform, and so they've got different requirements. Sometimes you have to own a few cards, a few moments to open a pack, and so when they say that, there's this mad scramble. Everyone's trying to buy packs, and the prices all go up of all the packs. There's way more transactions, which all means more money for Dapper Labs. And but they have to manage, they have to fight against bots that are trying to buy packs. They have to fight against people who are trying to open as many accounts as they possibly can to get more packs. They have to manage this world somehow in a organized way. So they're doing a good job, I think, of doing that.
There's been a lot of hiccups along the way, but
it's going to happen.
With that massive user increase,
the growth is unprecedented. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like they had like some huge, like, I don't know, huge amount of employees that like were on payroll. They were probably like skeleton crew, and then realized we need to hire a lot of people. Yeah,
you were telling me that in the beginning you could just buy a pack whenever you wanted, but now now they'll drop 60...
Haunts me every day, Andy. Because I would have bought 100,000 packs.
I'm still like, God, man, I should have just listened to Graham. I'll never ignore you ever again.
Thank you.
So nowadays they'll drop like 60,000 packs, but basically you get in a waiting room and they'll randomize the line at the time of the drop, but there will be 300,000 people and they're trying to get a pack, and there's only 60,000. So that's what keeps, the scarcity. And so essentially, if you make it to buy a pack, it's almost always, so far at least, immediate profit. And that may not always be the case, but
exactly.
But so I have a surprise for everybody, and that is that I have a pack that I got today in the drop, and I am going to open it for you guys on the podcast if you'd like to join us for that. Sound good?
Awesome.
Let's give them a taste of what a drop or what a pack opening is like. All right, so here we are on the homepage. Are you ready, Graham?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do this.
You are going to give me half your moments, right?
Yeah, half of them. All right, and so I got 5 moments. I'm going to go fast so that our listeners don't get bored. We got a Drew Holiday with a layup, left-handed. Very nice. Little Euro step. All right, next one is Tristan Thompson, former Cav, with a dunk. Very nice. You got any marketplace analysis for us?
That Drew Holiday looks like it's about $9 right now. Tristan's at 16. That one's out of 12,000. That was a nice moment you picked right there.
Oh, very interesting.
And that's his first moment on the platform. Might be worth.
Well, I'm gonna buy myself a hamburger. That way, that's Tristan's first moment on the platform.
It is.
All right, so
that's what the 12,000 usually signifies, I think, if they're not a rookie.
Oh, that's cool. So for anyone who's not familiar with Top Shot, the first moment of a player on the platform is going to eventually get a badge that signifies that that's their first moment. So they typically have a little more value.
I think that's how that's working.
At least that's at one point what was indicated, and it's all subject to change. This is Mason Plumlee with an authoritative dunk.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, but you can see on these moments, too, like, it says what his serial number is, and how many it is out of.
Yes, that's right.
Ooh, there's your cool cat.
My cool cat, Kristaps Porzingis.
It's at like $80 right now.
All right.
It's just funny, the expected value of a pack is just like, it's still ridiculous, but it's slowly dwindling.
Oh yeah.
It gets lesser each pack. But it's still very fun to open these.
Oh, definitely. The music gets me pumped.
Kyle Anderson. So you had mentioned the last pack drop was like, there was like over 300,000 people. I don't think there's actually 300,000 active users. I think those are potentially multiple accounts. I think a lot of those people are in it because their friends told them there's a lot of money to be made.
Oh,
they're in there to hopefully get a pack and then instantly flip it and just make money.
Yep.
Like, I definitely don't think there's that many people who are like actively contributing to the market and to the platform. Sure. I don't know. As buyers and sellers, I should say.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that are like kind of driving the market, like valuing certain moments are being valued more than others. Obviously, the player series 1, which are like the first set of moments that were released, those seem to be holding the most value, probably because they're like the original moments. Sure. It makes sense. And then serial number, the lower the serial number, the more value it's had on the platform, which is kind of interesting because like in sports cards, even if you have a serial number on a card, it really doesn't matter. It just kind of matters how many it's out of.
Yeah.
But like if you have the 1 out of 100 versus 90, it really, I don't think matters much.
Yeah. So it seems like, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So it seems like the lower the serial number, the more value, but then also the last serial number seems to have value, and the player's number, right? Like that. Yeah. That's the one that like blows up. Which I think is really, yeah.
1 and the player's number are, and it's even indicated like when you're searching for moments that it is the player's number. So like the platform is even kind of buying into that idea, and then like meme numbers as well, like 420.
Oh, really?
Is holding more value than others, which is kind of funny.
I was wondering if the repeating number, like LeBron 2,323, 23.
No, you will see like anything that ends in 23.
Oh, really?
For LeBron, or really any moment, you kind of see it. Like 23 just has value in basketball.
Oh, very interesting.
It's interesting stuff is happening where people are just making up the rules.
Yeah.
But also in the future, they're going to be releasing badges for the rookies, which in sports cards, rookie cards are like the only thing that really matter. So I do think that's going to carry over into Top Shot. So primarily at this point, I'm investing in pretty much my whole portfolio, if you want to call it that at this point, is just rookie moments, hoping that those are the ones that take off in the future. So there's that. But I'm curious, like in 5 years, do you think we'll be talking about Top Shot? And if so, what would you be investing in right now?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Thinking 5 years in advance.
Yeah. Will we be talking about it? No, I'm going to go ahead and say probably not, because I think we'll still be involved, but I don't think we'll be talking about it. I think the NFT space is going to be moving so fast that there's going to be so much more to talk about. And I think Top Shot is going to have a hard time being the center of conversation in 5 years when the NFL, the MLB, NHL, they're all going to have their own. Like there's going to be one of these worlds for everything you can imagine.
Well, I guess what I mean by that, do you think we'll still be talking about it in the sense that it exists as a functioning?
Oh, it'll be around. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you intend on being like a long-term holder of certain things? Hard to say.
I'm going to need that cash. I'm a little strapped right now. No, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I think I will to an extent, because it is fun. I love it. It is fun. I have a James Harden moment.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I think I actually mentioned this episode 1. I have a James Harden moment, or no, I didn't. I was just talking to you about it, that I pulled in my very first pack opening, and it's not worth anything. It's worth $25. It's a common card. The serial number is not good, but I just like it. And it was my first one, my first pack. And so that means something. I sold the other 2 cards in that pack, other 2 moments, sorry, in that pack. They weren't worth much. But I kept one because it just had like sentimental value, and I like the play. He goes up and does a little floater, and it's James Harden. He just makes me chuckle to begin with. And so I don't know, like, yeah, I like it. It's cool.
See, and to me, like, I mean, you probably just said it, like, not seriously, but you said it's not worth anything, and you could sell that right now for $25.
Yeah, it's worth $25.
You're choosing not to.
2 hamburgers.
Because you kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just kind of feeding into that ownership thing that, like, I don't know, if you were just in it for the money, you would have just sold it. So I don't know. It's interesting. But I do think long term, the moments that are cooler or have some sort of like history wrapped up in them will be the ones that retain value.
Yeah, definitely. And for the record, I'm not talking like a McDouble from McDonald's. That's like $2. I'm talking Friday's Jack Daniel's burger, man, with oozing with that sauce. Those things are like,
when's the last time you've been to Fridays, man?
It's been a couple years, but those things that stays with you, man.
No, I get it.
Those are like $14 now, probably. Anyways, worth every penny. So that's Top Shot. Where do you think it's going?
They are talking about they're starting a game called Hard Court. I don't really know too much about it, but essentially you're going to be like using your moments in the real world, like basketball games, based on the players that you put in. Wow. Like, I do think that's going to drive a lot of a marketplace engagement and stuff, because people are going to want access to different players.
Oh my goodness. If you go to a game and they're putting on the Jumbotron a moment and saying, like, tweet this to get a moment, and like all these people are like, what is this Top Shot? Like, that's free publicity. And man, I never thought
game
about
over
that.
Yeah. And and that's the other thing. They're talking about having like real world utility as well, for like in the future having like, maybe if you have certain moments of, like, say you're a Knicks fan and you go to Madison Square Garden, if you have certain Knicks moments, like maybe you'll have access to the exclusive like clubs in the arena, or you'll have free merchandise, stuff like that. I think it's going to do a lot to just drive
some nachos,
fan engagement. Yeah, man. You have an RJ Barrett moment, you get some nachos at the game.
Yeah, I would do that. I'd do that.
These NFTs that have like utility in games and potential real world application, I think it's going to be good long term, probably. Yeah. But I think they hold value as just digital assets. So
yep, this it's all going to keep moving forward, getting more creative, and
I'm just excited for it to get to a league that I'm like super into, like the NFL.
Now that is a great segue. Thank you, Graham. Because what about the NFL? I mean, they've got nothing yet. Mm-hmm. We do have a quote from their chief media and business officer, Brian Rolap, who said in a memo that the NFL will be taking, quote, a long-term view in the space and employing a measured and deliberate approach in exploring potential opportunities. So they're not rushing.
They're in.
Oh yeah. They're losing every day that they are not already on a platform. They're losing money. I mean,
but Top Shot is the first, and there's no sense in like rushing it just to get something out there. Like,
they want to do it right.
Exactly. And each league has to do their own thing and be unique. And
yeah, that's the thing. They need to not just be a carbon copy of Top Shot. They need to figure out how it works for football fans.
But when there is the NFL equivalent of Top Shot, oh man, I'm gonna have to put passcodes on my bank account that I don't have the access
Yeah,
to.
throw away that. Yeah. So it's interesting because these players obviously cannot wait to get into NFTs. I'm sure you've seen these headlines where Gronk was the first one, and he released some NFTs of himself in like generic, it seems like generic uniforms, because he doesn't have the copyrights to the Patriots logo or the Buccaneers logo. And so all he can do is just put himself on these moments and sell them. And he made a couple $1 million right off the bat.
Yeah. And you actually pointed that out to me. I didn't even realize when I had looked at them that there weren't logos. They were like kind of cartoonish and stuff. But yeah, it's the same deal with Bryson DeChambeau. Gronk's doing like one of ones that include meet and greets and stuff like that. But the others are just digital assets, like a collectible, and they're all out of 87, which is his number, I think.
Oh, okay. And Patrick Mahomes is the other one
doing the same
thing. And he did one where basically for 20 minutes you could buy one, anyone could buy one, and there would be as many as people that wanted one. And then
I didn't realize that part.
Yeah, and then after 20 minutes the sale closed and there would be no more, and then they become
was there
tradable.
A set price, or was
I believe so. Yeah, and I don't remember what that price was. 50. Some of them, well, they were different. A couple grand.
Because he had a one of one as well, right?
Yeah, there was one that was definitely 15 grand or something like that, and I don't know which was which, but yeah, he made $3 million in 20 minutes. And yeah, I kept looking for somewhere in the article to say like proceeds going to charity, and I did not find that anywhere. So that's what was disappointing. It's just like these people just popping out of the woodwork just to make a buck, and he's already got a $500 million deal. Like, come on, man, you don't need it. But
right? Yeah,
it's all about the art. He's doing it for the art, Graham.
Yeah, he's cashing in.
Yep.
But like with the one of ones, they offer the one-on-one experience and stuff. And I think with the Mahomes one, they added it was like a 55-inch, or I forget the numbers, but it was a big screen that would showcase your digital
nice
piece.
Put this thing in your living room.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, again, that hybrid of like tangibility and digital paired together. But I like the idea that if you hold the NFT, that you could potentially get future value from it. Like if Mahomes, like whoever currently has possession or ownership of the NFT, like in a year's time, maybe something else to drive that kind of like fan player engagement. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot you could do with NFTs as a creator or as an athlete, whatever, that I think these feel rushed.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get stuff out there.
Yeah, just trying to get money in their pockets. But the NFL put out this statement, basically said, don't do that. please consult us, and don't do any NFTs on your own, because we're trying to make money too.
We want the monies.
Yeah. It's really interesting. So what about Major League Baseball? They were the ones who made card collecting popular, made it a thing, a century or more ago. And they are nowhere to be seen in any sort of viable space for NFTs. Now, the interesting thing is they actually beat the NBA to blockchain. They in 2018, I believe it was, they started this MLB Champions like game with Lucid Sight, which is this company that basically took bobblehead figures, and there were different types of gloves and different like jerseys, and some of them were funny, like nacho gloves or gold glove, diamond glove, and they're different positions that they were like catching the ball, throwing the ball, all these different things to create scarcity. And so they're doing things right, but they never, like, it was a part of this game that was like a fantasy baseball sort of game that you used your figurines and you try to compete, but it never got off the ground, and apparently it wasn't managed very well. And then NBA Top Shot happened, and it just blew up, and they're like, oh no, like we screwed this up, and we had a chance and we failed.
We used bobbleheads. What were we thinking?
Yeah. So they just recently, I think in the last month, they discontinued this Champions thing. But the funny thing is, now that it's discontinued, these bobbleheads are popping up on OpenSea, which is a marketplace for NFTs, and you can buy and sell these bobbleheads now that they're worth something. Now that I don't know.
My gosh.
Now that it's discontinued.
Now that it's defunct.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but they also, Major League Baseball also has, they've always done work with Topps, the baseball card company, and Topps has a digital baseball card platform called Topps Bunt, but it is not on the NFT as far as I know, which is interesting because Topps itself is in the NFT space. They've been moving that way over the last couple of years. But Topps Bunt, even though there are digital cards and you can sell them for a profit, and there is a marketplace, hundreds of dollars for cards, but they're not NFTs. And so it's always going to have that ceiling because people aren't going to be sure that it's not duplicatable. So they need to make their way to NFT in a real viable way. And MLB Chief Operations and Strategy Officer Chris Marinak mentioned NFTs while outlining some of the league's new upcoming activities and initiatives. He said, "We are working on something in that space. We just aren't at a point yet where we have it firmed up enough to communicate something specific." So similar to the NFL.
They're all working towards it.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll get there. Yeah, they're kicking themselves for that
for sure
mistake. But
I think it was probably wise to just shut it down though and start fresh with a better product.
Yep, probably so. Yep. So there's only one left that I have here that we need to talk about, Graham. How do you feel about breeding horses?
Digitally, I'm all for it.
Perfect, because there's a new platform called Zed Run where you can create a stable and breed and race horses. I mean, I'm speechless, right?
I want to buy a stallion so bad. It's an interesting world.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep. I'll need to check that out.
We say that a lot.
Yeah, we do say that a lot, but it's very interesting. So yeah, we'll look more into Zed Run. If you're into horses, then maybe that's the one for you. But I think that's a wrap for today. So if you want to catch us on YouTube, head over there and check us out. If you're on YouTube and you want to check out the podcast, we are on most of the major platforms. And if we're not on the platform you use, make sure to let us know at our email address, non@fungibilitypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. For Graham, my name is Andy, and we will see you next time. Fungibility.